my faithful lawyer YouTube subscribers. Today is Tuesday, is the 26th of March. And today the Chicago police, the Chicago District Attorney dropped charges, the prosecuting attorney dropped charges against Jussie Smollett today but he didn't really drop the charges. They reduced the charges. He completed community service, sorta. They kept his $10,000 in bond money and then decided not to pursue this against him. Why did they do that? Well, let's kind of look at this case. From the very beginning, we knew that nigga was lying, and they knew it too. And they aggressively went after, once they found out who he was with that night, and they have a way of knowing who he was with, by following those video cameras, they were able to identify those two men, his two friends, who were Nigerians. Now, come on, y'all. This man claims that he was assaulted, beat, and had bleach thrown on him and a noose put around his neck. There will be no charges against those two men, his friends, that he knew. But the charges against him were dismissed. Why? So we press the rewind button. We all knew he was lying, and including the Chicago police, the mayor of Chicago. Everybody figured out that this was a lie, and they found out the truth. However, no case can proceed forward if your two-star witnesses no longer want to cooperate with you. They don't have to cooperate, but you can't make them cooperate with you. This isn't a domestic violence case. So, without their testimony, they no longer had a case. However, what they decided to do was say, our two little Nigerian friends no longer want to cooperate this, because all of a sudden, they took this, Jussie was going to take this to trial, and a lot of dirt would have been exposed about him and them two men who didn't want that information publicly released. Mainly dealing with everybody's sexuality. Now, you all know how Nigerians feel about gay folks, don't you? Google it. You'll find out. There are a lot of Nigerians. I've known a lot of Nigerians who are gay, just like I know a lot of Jamaicans who are gay. But in the United States, people don't know their sexuality. Nobody knows it. Back in the home country, this would have exploded, though. Because this was making news around the world. Especially when they were arrested coming back from Nigeria. So, they couldn't cooperate. And Jussie wasn't going to plead it out. He wasn't going to plead it out. So, this was the best scenario for all parties involved. Well, except the Chicago police, they still want to get his ass. But they decided, they won't cooperate no more. And I think Jussie learned his lesson, I guess. About lying to the police. He should never have done that. He could have pulled this little stunt, but he didn't have to involve the Chicago police in his stunt. He didn't have to. That's where he made a grave error, because by involving him, everything was swirling around and out of control. He couldn't control. He didn't think they were going to find them two Nigerians, but they did. He thought, man, they'll never find the people who did this, because nobody did this. Nobody did it in his mind, but they found them guys. I know he was knocked over and they found my friends. And they had this check, and they had all this stuff. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. The man is guilty as hell. Mr. Jussie Smollett, he's guilty as hell. We all know this. But in the scheme of things, nobody got hurt or injured. They kept that 10 grand. That's restitution for the Chicago police running around doing all that work. They kept it. They let his ass go. Now, I've been charged with all kinds of shit. And I was guilty as sin. Guilty as hell. Guilty. It was all over my head. Guilty of love. I'm guilty of this shit. And the charges were dismissed. A lot of cases fall apart for a lot of reasons. And the prosecuting attorney looks at the case and says, it ain't that serious. Mr. Hampton, you can go. Oh, Lord. I got scared of my ass on the battery shot. Like a rodent. Hide when the lights come on. Run. Oh my God, I got it. I remember one time they threw me out of jail at midnight. I was laying in my bunk sleep. Mr. Hampton, what? Get up and get dressed and get packed. I said, okay, where am I going now? They literally threw my ass out that jail at midnight. They released me in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, what the hell happened? I walked them country roads, honey, to freedom. Midnight, I was walking. I found a phone back then. You didn't have no cell phone back then. Dialed a friend of mine. I said, come get me. I don't know where I am. And I told him I was. He came up that long country road. He said, just keep walking. I'll find you. I was walking. It was darker than a motherfucker, but I was out that jailhouse. I was walking, singing like a slave. I was free. Whew. I remember that 1990. That was 1994. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, 1994. Winter. Spring was winter. Early of 1994. They let me go. Dismissed those charges against me in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes cases fall apart and prosecutors decide we're not going to pursue this anymore. We really don't have anything, and they just let you go. And in this case, the case was falling apart, and it wasn't all that serious in the scheme of things, but without those two witnesses who were recanting their testimony, they're foreigners from another country, scared to death, snatched off of planes who they fly back in from Nigeria, but they were from visiting family and friends, and they snatched off a plane, and all this shit going on. See, nobody thought this was going to happen. So you don't involve the police in your shenanigans. You don't involve the police in your shenanigans. It's funny because I have friends who were big time with drug dealers. And when they got robbed and home invasions, all that shit, they didn't call 911. They couldn't. They just packed it up and moved someplace else. They couldn't call the police over there and get involved in that shit. They'd been in jail too. And it just would have been a whole lot of mess. I had friends who were selling drugs and got shot. Had to ease, you had to find somebody. This is shocking, but you'd be surprised at the amount of people who get shot or injured or stabbed or whatever, and they don't go to the hospital. I've seen this shit, and I'm like, he didn't go to the hospital. They're like, can't go. I'm like, why? Are you gonna bleed to death here? They find somebody come in and help them, and you'd be surprised. I've seen this stuff. I ain't about that life no more. I've been saved. Thank you, Jesus. I've been saved. And Jussie's black ass got saved today. He better thank them folks for letting his ass go free. He got saved today. A miracle took place. Now, he didn't spend a lot of motherfucking money for no reason on attorneys. Woo! I bet you his wallet over there screaming. Because he supposedly did it because he wanted to get more money from him. Financially, he's in one hell of a hole and may not have a job with them folks back over there at Empire. And we don't know what will become of his acting career around because everybody don't know he's not. He wouldn't gay Tupac. He the gay O.J. Simpson. That's who he is. He did it. He was guilty. And anybody running around talking about y'all know this man did this mess. He did exactly what those police said he did. They just didn't have. The case wasn't that important enough for them to pursue. They lost their 2-star witnesses. And they decided to just settle it on up. And then scamper back to freedom. It happens every day. This is just to make sense. Enough of this. We have other more serious things to deal with, fellas. We got 10,000 murders on the south side of Chicago. Let this man go. Done with this. Take his money. That's it. Close this book so we move on. Happens every day all over America. Color, race. It's not about the color of the skin or having money, because y'all, I've faced some serious charges that were thrown out. Trust me. Jesus was on my side. That's the only time I believe in God and Jesus when I'm in jail. So I'm like, oh, Lord, please help me out, Jesus. Oh, Lord. That's the only time I pray. Yeah, right. This kid, because I know y'all gonna take me serious on that. But no, people get serious charges dismissed all the time. If the case is not, they don't have enough to really pursue or prosecute, they let it go. But he is the gay O.J. Simpson, because we all know he's guilty of sin. And the Chicago mayor and people are kind of pissed about this. But they embarrassed him enough for pulling this stuff, trust me. Now, let's see how he recovers from this. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see how he survives his shenanigans. And this is something he created. He created this problem. An expensive problem that he is now paid for financially, and maybe with his career. We'll see. I'm glad it's over with for him. I would wish jail and trouble and law. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I just don't. And I'm glad that he has resolved these issues. They weren't in the scheme of things, they weren't all that damn serious in the first place. But, you know, they just got blown up by the media and stuff like that. Something that he wanted. He kind of got what he wanted out of this. He got everything he wanted out of this. Notoriety, fame, his name all over the place. Everybody know who he is now if you didn't know who he was. If you don't watch Empire. Everybody's kind of like, who? What? Now he's got a lot of attention. Love to know what he's going to do next. I don't watch Empire. I've watched this since the first season. I don't even know. I just don't watch TV like that. There's very few TV shows. I thought it was a good show. I don't know. The second season, I tried to get into it, but I was busy at that stage in my life, and then I just lost interest in it. So I haven't seen any of that stuff. I wish him well. And I hope he stays out of trouble and stays away from the police. And don't call the police when you come up with some lying ass bullshit. Because that trial, I was waiting for that thing to go to court. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a good trial right here. I mean, I flew up to Chicago, popcorn in hand, eating. What? What did they say happened? They did what? What? Have that court. A lot of drama. If you ever want to see some drama, go into these courthouses and just sit and watch the criminal court cases or family court cases. You ain't got shit to do. Turn off that TV and walk through this. This is real life shit. Go watch these court cases. You'd be amazed at how the stuff plays out in that courtroom. There's some drama in there better than anything you see on TV. TV is fiction. This is real. He's like, this shit is real. Wow. Well, I've been in enough courtrooms to know. But I thank the Lord I'm saved now. Thank you. And I'm no longer involved in that life. I ain't about that life no more. If you like my videos, click like, share them with family members and friends. Family members and friends. And Jussie Smollett is still a lying sack of shit. He always gonna be one. But he's free now. I wish him well on his journey in life. And that's it, y'all. It has come to a conclusion. Today is Tuesday. It is March 26th, 2019. I'm going to go to bed, y'all. Good night. Bye.